All right, all right. Good afternoon, good evening. This is the BFTAA and More show right here on KUAW Radio, Kansas City's global community radio station. I'm your host, Louis George Walker, and I'm coming to you today just to kind of get my hat straight a little bit. Coming to you, give you a little bit of information as we're creeping on into the summer. It is summertime now officially, and in Kansas City, it definitely has gotten hot. So we know what summertime is all about. But we're glad that you're here, and there's a lot of things going on in the world around Kansas City and in technology. So we're going to be talking about a little bit of that today as we're preparing. We had a great weekend. We went out to Kids Tech Day in Kansas City, which was fantastic. It was a free event. We want to get more families out of our community to go because there was, they got free lunches. They had a lot of technology that they could do hands-on work with, programming, what was it? It was BattleBots were there. They had a lot of things that could keep kids interested and working, and it was fun down at the Kansas City Convention Center. So we need to make sure that when these things come on, and we talked about it on this show, we're going to give you even more advanced information on the next events that are coming up so that, you definitely have the time to check it out and stuff because our kids need to be out and get involved and see a lot of the stuff that is available for their future. And for parents, you need to be taking your kids, bringing your kids to these events and really getting involved with them. There was a lot of volunteers from different organizations showing what they've had, what they're working with, what your kids can get involved with. But if you're not there, then you miss out. You don't know. And sometimes our kids miss out just because they didn't know something was available. So let's get out. Let's make it where they know. If they don't, get into it, if they don't like it, that's okay. Excuse me. But at least they've been made aware of it. So that's the thing that we want to make sure that we do is give our kids that good opportunity to get started. So we're glad you're here. We'll talk some more about that, the Kids Tech Day. I don't know if I have any pictures that I can put up right now. I've been running most of the day doing a few other things, like getting clothes in the cleaners and stuff like that. But we will definitely get with you. Let's see. I've got somebody watching. That's good. It's always good to have somebody out there if it's just two of us. See if I can check that just to make sure this is our latest. And if you have any questions or comments that you would like to share or put out, all you have to do is contact us. You can either put it up on Facebook and it'll pop up on the screen. If you're listening to us on one of the audio channels, which is Get Me Radio, the TuneIn app. If you have a smart speaker like a Google or Amazon, tell it to play KUAW and you're hearing us there. But also right now we're broadcasting live and you can follow us on Facebook and on YouTube and Twitch. Go to KUAW-radio on Facebook, KUAW Space Radio on YouTube, and KUAW Radio on Twitch. So, you can go ahead and get involved and see what we're doing, and I'll answer your questions. They pop up on the screen. You have a question for me, I'll definitely answer it. Our Facebook page is at KUAW-radio, and when you type in any questions or comment on that, it'll pop up on the screen as you just saw that refresh screen on there, or you saw that I'm watching ahead. We would love to have you. If you want to call in at 816-599-6893. That number is going across the top of your screen right there. So call in at that, and we'll be glad to talk with you also, or put you on the air if it's something that you want to get out to the community. If you know somebody that wants to hear something that you have, give us a holler. We'll definitely get it out there. All right, so what we do here at the BFTAA and More, one thing that we do every week is we try to let you know what's going on at NASA, the National Aeronautics and Space Administration. Your tax dollars at work, and mine too. at the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, they do research, they do development. They've opened up a new center that you're going to see about, and we may get a chance to play around in it on screen a little bit. But we want you to check out what's going on this week at NASA, and that's a weekly update that they give you. So let's check out this week's NASA episode.
Showcasing our new Earth Information Center in search of an atmosphere around a rocky exoplanet and getting ready for an important delivery. A few of the stories to tell you about this week at NASA. On June 21st, we hosted a ribbon-cutting ceremony at our headquarters in Washington to showcase NASA's new Earth Information Center. The center is part physical space and part virtual experience. It shows how data from Earth monitoring satellites and instruments that we make available to researchers and others can help improve life on Earth in the face of disasters, environmental challenges, and climate change. NASA created the Earth Information Center with several partner agencies. Learn more at climate.nasa.gov. An international team of researchers has used our James Webb Space Telescope to calculate the amount of heat energy coming from the exoplanet TRAPPIST-1c. The result suggests that if there is an atmosphere around the rocky exoplanet, it is extremely thin. This result marks another step in determining whether planets orbiting small red dwarfs like the host star in the TRAPPIST system can sustain atmospheres needed to support life as we know it. A new curation facility at our Johnson Space Center will eventually house the sample material from asteroid Bennu that is being returned to Earth by our OSIRIS-REx mission. The new facility will enable researchers to preserve, protect, handle, and examine the rock and dust samples, or regolith. The samples could provide insight into what role ancient asteroids like Bennu may have played in the formation of planets and other processes that may have ultimately led to life on Earth. The OREX return capsule is scheduled to land in the Utah desert in late September. On June 18th, we marked the 40-year anniversary of the late Sally Ride becoming the first American woman in space. Ride journeyed to orbit on that date in 1983 aboard Space Shuttle Challenger on STS-7 as part of NASA's first 5-person crew. The 6-day mission also featured the first release and retrieval of a satellite using the Canadian robotic arm and the launches of 2 other satellites. That's what's up this week at NASA. For more on these and other stories, follow us on the web at nasa.gov/twan. Showcasing our new Earth Information Center in search of an atmosphere around a rocky exoplanet and getting ready for an important delivery. A few of the stories to tell you about this week at NASA. On June 21st, we hosted a ribbon-cutting ceremony at our headquarters in Washington to showcase NASA's new Earth Information Center. The center is part physical space and part virtual experience. It shows how data from Earth monitoring satellites and instruments that we make available to researchers and others can help improve life on Earth in the face of disasters, environmental challenges, and climate change. NASA created the Earth Information Center with several partner agencies. Learn more at climate.nasa.gov. An international team of researchers has used our James Webb Space Telescope to calculate the amount of heat energy coming from the exoplanet TRAPPIST-1c. The result suggests that if there is an atmosphere around the rocky exoplanet, it is extremely thin. This result marks another step in determining whether planets orbiting small red dwarfs like the host star in the TRAPPIST system can sustain atmospheres needed to support life as we know it. A new curation facility at our Johnson Space Center will eventually house the sample material from asteroid Bennu that is being returned to Earth by our OSIRIS-REx mission. The new facility will enable researchers to preserve, protect, handle, and examine the rock and dust samples, or regolith. The samples could provide insight into what role ancient asteroids like Bennu may have. Showcasing our new Earth Information Center In search of an atmosphere around a rocky exoplanet,
All right,
and getting
all
ready
right.
for
So
an
that's what's
important
going
delivery.
on
A
this
few
week
of
in
the
NASA.
stories to
Let's
tell you
back
about
that
this
out of
week
there
at NET.
right quick. Okay. But that new Earth information system that they have is really something that they've got that's pretty neat over with NASA right now. Let's see. Bring that up. Yeah. And we're going to go to that page. I don't know if we'll get a chance to go to it today and see a little bit more about it, because that was I've been looking at it a little bit, and they have some good information on there, so that would be good. But one thing I do want to talk to you about now is our need for volunteers right here at the Black Family Technology Awareness Association. And I would say, are you passionate about technology, robotics, drones, and coding? Do you like any of those? Do you have a desire to inspire and empower young minds? Well, the Black Family Technology Awareness Association is seeking dedicated volunteers like you to join our team as coaches, as mentors, as leaders for young people. At our organization, we strive to bridge the digital divide and foster a love for technology among children from ages 9 to 18 years old. Through exciting programs like the Lego League or Vex Robotics or even our brand new Drone Academy, we provide a nurturing and engaging environment for young learners to explore their potential. As a volunteer coach, you will have the opportunity to make real impact in the lives of aspiring young innovators. You'll guide and mentor students, help them to develop essential skills in robotics, in drones, and coding. Your expertise and passion will shape the next generation of technology enthusiasts. So that's one thing we want to look at. And at the time, we understand the importance of work-life balance. Don't get us wrong, which is why we need volunteers, mainly on Saturday from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. This ensures that you can make a meaningful contribution without sacrificing your other commitments. So think about coming in and helping around with what we're doing here at the Black Family Technology Awareness Association. Our Lego League, 9 to 12-year-olds, you can join in nurturing the creative minds of our youngest learners as they delve into exciting world of robotics using Lego Mindstorms. Help them design and build and program their robots to tackle real world challenges. That's what we want to build them for. And then our 13 to 18-year-olds, we want you to empower our older students to push the boundaries of innovation with the Vex Robotics platform. Guide them as they construct, as they build advanced robots and compete in exhilarating competitions, honing their engineering skills along the way. And then our Drone Academy, which is our newest program. Be part of a new program to introduce students to the thrilling realm of drones. Teach them the principles of flight, navigation, and coding to unlock their potential in this rapidly evolving field. So those are some of the things that you can get involved with. And there's other. We need people that can help with our data collection, that can help with office skills, just to help us keep everything running on time. So that would be good. So if you're ready to make a difference and inspire the next generation of tech leaders, we invite you to join our volunteer team at the Black Family Technology Awareness Association. To express your interest and to learn more about our programs, please contact us at 816-805-0406. That's 816-805-0406. Together, we can empower young minds and build a brighter future filled with endless possibilities in technology. Join us today and be a catalyst for change. Yes, we need you right now to help us out at the Black Family Technology Awareness Association. We want to inspire. We want to make entrepreneurs, innovators, new engineers and technologists, and just enthusiasts about this technology. You know, if kids get excited about it, if we get excited about it, it's no telling how far we can go, what we can develop, what we can create, what they may be able to come up with. So if you'd like to volunteer with the Black Family Technology Awareness Association, we can use you right now. Yes, the BFTAA needs you. Yeah. So think about it. Give us a shout out if you would like to be involved in working with this. Oh, my monitor speaker isn't here right now. That's one thing I've noticed missing because I took it down to the kids' tech fair, which we didn't get to use it because I took the wrong cable after I got down there. But that's a whole nother story. We won't go into that anymore. But yeah, we've got to learn to get our travel kits, travel essentials together before we go out so that we're not scrambling trying to put things together, which, yeah, we're getting better at it. We've only had 20 years to work on this. But if you would like to volunteer, if you'd like to help out, be sure and contact us. You can also hit us up on Facebook, on Twitter. Go to KUAW, put in KUAW or BFTAA. We're on all of the sites. We're on Instagram. We don't have a TikTok yet, but we'll see about getting that. But if you want to get in touch, if you just want some more information, shoot us a line. You can email us at bftaa@sbcglobal.net. Or you can go to KUAW985@gmail.com. That is our audio side. So any of those ways that you want to get in touch with us, we would like to hear from you. We can use volunteers. We need you to work with us to help work with these young people. So thank you for listening to that little bit right there. Now we're going to continue with what we're doing with NASA. And the next place we want to go to is, and I'm going to bring this up on my other screen so that I can at least hear the broadcast because I can't hear what they're saying without my monitor speaker. I don't have any headphones over here. Guess if I'd have brought my headphones over, I could have been listening to it. But that's another story also. But before we go to NASA there, we'll see what we've got. There we are. Okay, so I'll bring that up, and I think I'll come out on this other computer. Let me turn on the sound. There we go. All right, so let's go now to what's up. No, Space to Ground. Space to Ground is the next NASA bit. So here we go.
Welcome to Space to Ground. I'm Jaden Jennings. It's another week, another spacewalk aboard the International Space Station, and the third in just 14 days. On Thursday, June 22nd, Roscosmos cosmonauts Sergei Prokopyev and Dmitry Petelin completed a spacewalk outside the orbiting complex. The team retrieved several experiment packages from the Poist airlock and installed communications equipment. It was the 7th spacewalk for Prokopyev, the 5th for Petelin, and the 266th spacewalk in support of station maintenance and upgrades. Last week, the 4th and final crew member was announced to SpaceX Crew 7. Roscosmos cosmonaut Konstantin Borisov will fly as a mission specialist, completing the Space Quartet. Borisov joins previously named crew members NASA astronaut Jasmine Mogbelli, ESA astronaut Andreas Mogensen, and astronaut Satoshi Furukawa from JAXA. The crew is scheduled to head to the space station no earlier than mid-August, launching from the Kennedy Space Center in Florida. We look ahead to the conclusion of the 28th SpaceX commercial resupply mission, returning over 3,600 pounds of cargo to Earth next week. The cargo will include a special chair that has been used in the European Space Agency studies, Grip and Grasp, for almost 6 years on the International Space Station. In that time, dozens of crew members have taken part in activities that will help scientists better understand the way astronauts' brains and the force of their grip changes after living in microgravity. What we learn could identify potential hazards astronauts may face when they move between environments with different levels of gravity, such as landing on Mars after a lengthy voyage in space. We invite you to join us on Thursday, June 29th, as the SpaceX Cargo Dragon starts its journey home. Our coverage of the undocking from the station begins at 11:45 a.m. Eastern. And that's Space to Ground for now. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next week.
All right, all right. So that's space to ground and letting you see some of the things that go on up in the space station. The space station has been a fantastic thing that's been manned for quite a few years now, and I've had a lot of people up there. So that is really an experiment that continues, and we're learning more and more. So that's what we want to get our kids involved in. We want them to be researchers and people that will be able to travel and do things like that. And it's for all those people that you see up in space, which is 5 or 6 of them, there are hundreds of people down here on Earth, or I maybe even say thousands, that help keep that space station going and work with the experiments and everything that's going on. So there are a lot of people in the background that you don't see, scientists, professors, engineers, computer science people, and mechanics, people that are working, doing a lot of good paying jobs that help keep that up. So that's one thing we want to look at. You may not become an astronaut, they may not go into space, but then they may. But there's all kinds of jobs and opportunities that are right here on Earth because of the space station being up there. So that's what we need to encourage our young people to see about getting involved in, because it's all good. So that's my thing. You know, I've always been that kind of science kid that liked experimenting and things like that. So I try to pass that on to whoever is interested. Everybody's not interested, and we know that, but that's okay. We're not all made to do the exact same things, and that is what the difference is. Our differences are what make us human. But yeah, this is something that I really think we need to make sure we keep our kids involved. Technology is forever changing, constantly improving, and changing our lives, and we just have to continue to be involved in it. It's, you know, something that we should be interested in, and something that we should be working with our young people. So that was it. That was the two things that I wanted to show you there. Now, the other thing we want to talk about, one thing that is coming up where BFTAA will be on site. We're going to have our drones down there. We're going to have robots. We want to have you come down and check us out, but it's the 816 day. I got the application. I got to fill it out so that we can have a spot at 816 day on 18th and Vine. It's time. It's time for us to get ready, and we bought us a nice cage that we can actually fly drones in and do it safely, so nobody gets hit by a drone around, or the drone doesn't fly off. So we want to set that up down on 18th and Vine, and let your child come down and learn a little bit of what it'd be like to fly a drone, learn how to fly drones. We'll try and have some of our kids that are already flying drones demonstrate and even teach a little bit, and showing other young people how they can fly drones, how they can learn about drones. So be sure, mark your calendar now for the 816. I think it's going to happen on August the 13th. 816 day will be on August the 13th this year. I'll have that flyer up shortly on our Facebook page, on our YouTube, and on before our shows are in the little changing screens that you see on the side here. We'll put that in there so that you'll be able to stay up with 816 day and come down, check out the technology that we'll have down there. We'd like to have you get involved. We'd like for you to be a volunteer. We'd like for you to bring your kids, your grandkids, your nieces, your nephews, the neighbor's kid, anybody that you think may be interested in technology and learning about technology, using technology. Bring them down. We definitely want to see them. So that is a good thing. Now, another thing we want to talk about, and this is to get away from science, is just another, I was watching the news this morning, and they were talking about this shooting that went on, I believe, at 57th and Prospect. And I don't know what the latest is on it. I need to see if I can pull it up on the news, but quite a few people injured. That just seems terrible. Let's see. I'm going to put that in. And see what comes up. see if I can get some news. Okay. 8 people shot, 3 fatally. Kansas City subject of interest is detained. So they don't know if they've have the right person or not. They have a person of interest, it says. But this is a mass shooting. This is a mass shooting. 8 people shot, 5 people killed. That is another mass shooting. And sometimes it goes by us and it doesn't seem like we're paying it much attention. But that is a large number of people to get shot at one time. 3 people shot and killed in a shooting at 57th and Prospect. Kansas City police spokesman said detectives identified one other person who was shot Sunday in the incident and arrived at a local hospital. So this is, I don't see any details on it, but we've really got to get this in hand about these guns, about this violence, what people are doing. This is, okay, yeah, here we go. We've got some charges filed on that. Okay, charges have been filed. The first charges from Sunday's deadly mass shooting have been announced. Kevon Green, 26, was charged with first-degree assault and armed criminal action in connection with a shooting that killed 3 and wounded 6 more. More charges are expected later this week in the case, according to the Jackson County Prosecutor's Office. The shooting happened early Sunday morning in Kansas City. This case remains under investigation and other charges are anticipated. The defendant, identified today, remains in a Kansas City hospital and in custody. Boy, now that is something there. And it's still a developing story. A lot of things are still going on with this. Police found 3 shooting victims in a parking lot and the street just south of the intersection when they arrived at the scene at 4:30 a.m. Those 3 victims, 2 men and 1 woman, died at the scene. On Monday, police identified the 3 victims who died as 28-year-old Jasty Strong, 29-year-old Camden Brown, and 22-year-old Nico Manning. Oh, that's terrible. Officers say at least 6 more shooting victims arrived at various hospitals by private vehicles or ambulances. Police say they have non-life-threatening injuries. The KCPD initially identified the 5 surviving victims before connecting a 6th hospitalized person with injuries from the shooting. As a result of their investigation, police identified a subject of interest at a residence in the 5300 block of Martha Truman Road in Grandview, Missouri. Detectives responded to that location after 5 p.m. today, and took an adult man into custody without incident for further investigation. The investigation is ongoing and detectives are still gathering evidence to present a case to prosecutors for consideration of applicable charges. The identity of the man taken into custody will only become public if charges are filed. Of course, we know they've already mentioned that, so this was printed before. Kansas City mayor chimed in online after yet another mass shooting in the city. My condolences to the families of the 3 people killed, Mayor Quentin Lucas said in a series of tweets Sunday morning. If the business knew persons would be present without security, selling alcohol and thwarting our laws, that business should be closed. So it says the people were killed at an apparent after-hours gathering near 57th and Prospect. So some kind of after-hours party or club where this happened. That just really is bad there. And we've got this. That's a lot of people. There's 3 people's lives lost, and then people that are hurt. They're non-life threatening, but to be involved in a shooting can leave scars. There can be PTSD from this, and even those people that witnessed it and were around it. So this is not something to take lightly in any shape or form, but we definitely have to do something as a community to stop this, to eliminate a lot of this shooting and killing that's going on in just huge numbers. I mean, it's not like a fight. It's not like even one person getting hurt that's fighting another. This is mass killings. This is killings on a different level. This is 3 people dead in one incident, and could have been others. It's just by the grace of God, because if you got hit, it could have been a life-threatening wound. It wasn't, but that's just by the grace of God. So we need to look at that as we look at doing other things to make the world better, as we want to get more education, as we want to have more equality. We definitely have to stop a lot of the killing that goes on in our community and in this country in general. Not just in our community. There was a young man taken into custody in some small town this morning also that was on the news. So it's not that it happens just in our community, but we definitely have more than our share of the shootings and killings that happen. Somewhere up, I think it was north central Missouri or somewhere where there was another shooting. So, people, this violence, everybody wants to have guns and have protection and stuff, but this violence is just getting worse and worse. We're taking lives far too easily. But that's, my soapbox on that. As we find out more, we'll keep you updated. But looks like they have somebody that's already been charged, not with murder, so they don't have all the evidence they need for that. But looks like they've got somebody in custody on assault charges, and we'll see what happens. This information comes from Channel 9 News. I'm just reading it off of the scroll. I think it's Connor Hills. It says KCPD releases the names of 3 people who died in this mass shooting day. So that's from KMBC 9 News. Connor Hills is the one that has it. So, yeah, there's something going on there. This is a big news story around the city, so we have to, I guess, just pray for them. That's one thing that we can do, and we know that it makes a difference. So let's pray for those families that have lost a loved one. Let's pray for those families that have those that are wounded. Let's pray for an end to violence in our communities, the violence in the country, violence in the world. Let's just stay prayerful. All right. That's what I have on that. So I was playing with my chat GPT. If you heard the volunteer request that I put out on this show just a few minutes ago, that was generated from information I put into chat GPT to help me write some copy so that we can make a commercial recruiting volunteers. So some of the things that we can do with something like that, with a new program like that, is to help us to better communicate with one another. Now, people may say they don't like ChatGPT or it's going to be the end of mankind and stuff. I don't know. Okay, it may be a while off. I heard a story I was listening to today that right now there are thousands and thousands of people working on ChatGPT, basically kind of deciphering it, trying to educate it, trying to help it out to figure out things because they need help. And the story went on to say that as it gets more and more ChatGPT, they're going to need more and more people to work on it. So ChatGPT may not be taking your job as much as those people that are training ChatGPT, using it, working with it. It's another job front. So it may be time to look at your skills. They're saying that some of the people that are working there are making a minimum of $30 an hour. So if you want a $30 an hour job, hey, get you a job working with ChatGPT. They need people with it. So everything doesn't have to go off the rails when you hear about it, when it's something new. It may be something that we'll all be working with, or a lot of us may be working with. It may be a big economic engine in the country. So we need to look at that. Also, and I can't tell you what to do with your money, but you have to look at investing in things sometimes that are moving up and going. I've got a couple of friends of mine that we've got an investment challenge going on right now, and I need to see how my stock's doing to see who can do the best with stock investments in a month. Now, I'm the type of person that didn't pick one stock. I picked a small basket, but we each took $100 and said we were going to buy stock with that $100, and at the end of the month, see what it has done. And we're not, trading each other's money. Nobody, you hold your own money, your own stock, and all of that. But we got $100 invested in stock. Well, as you might know, as soon as I put my $100 in there, it went down. And the stock market has been down since. So the $100 that I've invested so far, and that was last week, last Friday? I think I've had this at least a week. So it was Friday before last. And my stock right now, my $100 is worth $98.28. So I'm down $1.72 right now. $1.72 down on my $100. So we're going to see how that goes. I'm not going to tell you all the stock I've got right now, but because I don't want them switching over and getting some of my stock. Some of my stock is doing good, and some of it's not doing so good. So, or more of it's not doing good. 3 of my stocks went up over. I bought 10 stocks, and I put $10 in each one of them, so I had $100 invested. 3 of them are worth more than $10 now, but the other 7 are worth less than $10 now. So 1/3 roughly of my investment was good or would be making a little bit of money, but 2/3 of it went south on me. And that is the stock market. I mean, it's not that you get into it to gamble or try and get rich. I tried to invest in some technology stocks, some consumer goods, some agricultural things, also in some oil. And those were things that I figured we're going to be needing, that we're going to be working with. I did do a entertainment stock in there too, and it's not doing good. As a matter of fact, it's next to the bottom. And one of my technology stocks is on the bottom. So, it's all come and go there. But some of them are doing good. I will let you know at the end of July how I fared in this competition and how I did against my friends on this. But this is a way to kind of learn about stock, and that's something that you may consider doing. If you've got a friend or two, or if you just want to do it yourself, you can take, and a lot of things will sell partial stocks. You don't have to buy a whole share. A lot of the apps that you have and stuff now, you can invest whatever amount that you want on different apps. You don't have to buy the whole stock. You can buy half a stock. You can buy 1/10 of a stock. But that's a thing that you could do, and start looking at companies, start reading about their profit and earnings, see what it is that may think, you think that this is the next one, and start learning about investing. Because investing is just like people buy houses and real estate. That's an investment property too. And sometimes they do good, sometimes they don't do good. People will tell you can make money, you can lose money in anything. But we need to learn how, as we start talking about this generational wealth, that's one way to build it, is to have investments and to invest in things that are going to be beneficial. I was reading an article today about some of the 10 tips of wealthy people, some of the things they do, and a lot of it is to invest more into things that are not depreciating. So depreciating goods are not a good investment, like a car. So if you buy a car, 99% of the time, it starts going down in value. Now, there's some cars that are worth more now than they were when they were first made that are really up there. But most of your cars go down in value. Most of the people that have money, they'll either pay cash for a car so that they're not trapped in the interest, and they'll either try and pay it off quickly. The last car I bought, I got it on a 3-year loan. It wasn't new. It was an older car, but I got it on 3 years. I said, if I can't pay it off in 3 years, I don't think I need it. So we did that, And that allowed me to save. I didn't have as much interest going out, and now I'm driving a car that's paid for. So I couldn't pay cash for it, but I did get it paid off in 3 years. Those are some of the things you want to look at in investing. Then with my house and stuff, okay, I pay on it every month. I didn't pay it off, but it's worth more now than it was when I bought it. It's been going up, so that's not a decreasing asset. So your cars are decreasing. Sometimes, and a lot of times, your jewelry, your gold and stuff is decreasing. And not that gold goes down in value, but when you buy jewelry, you're paying more than the cost of the gold for jewelry. You're paying for the look, for the style, for the work somebody put into it, not just for the price of gold. So you can buy a $250 gold ring and turn around and take it to sell the gold that's in it, and they're not going to give you $250. You can buy a $1,000 gold ring, and it's going to have some gold in it. It's going to be worth something, but if you try to sell it just for the gold, I bet you it's not going to be worth $1,000. Okay, so if you're going to invest in gold, you have to buy bullion, which is just pure gold. Nobody's hammered on it or done any of that and stuff. And that is all gold. But you pay for the beauty of a ring or of a chain around your neck. Somebody had to make those links, and the store had to set it up and sell it to you and all that. So we need to look at our investments. We need to look at the way we think about investments, because all of that will have to do with our generational wealth. So as we talk about good jobs, learning technology, and all of that, making $30, $40 an hour, making salary pay of 6 figures or more, is all well and good, but it's what do we do with it after we make it? Yes, you can make good money, but if you don't know what to do with it, and a lot of times it's not that you're stupid or anything like that, we just don't know. And we may make good money, but then we don't invest it wisely, or we're scared to invest it at all, and we say, well, I'll just spend it. At least I know I used it. And, if that's the way you want to be, that's the way you want to be. But if you want to stop generational, neediness, if you want to make generational wealth so that's something you can pass on, then you have to think about saving and growing and giving the money to somebody else. That's a big thought. Now, a lot of people really think, I don't know, my kids might do this, that, and other. And my uncle, they sold his house, this, that, and other happened. Well, if you want to think of the negatives, then that's the way it's going to be. But you have to think that if we really want to stop, we need to educate our kids while we're getting educated on it, so that we know how to make those investments that count. So we're going to talk a little bit more about this. Like I say, I'm in a contest with 2 other people to see who makes the best investments on our $100 out there. Right now, I don't know how they're doing, but I can say that I am down from my $100. The stock market has been down, but that's the way it is. I haven't lost a lot, but it hasn't made a lot either. Although I see there's 2 or 3 stocks that I say, okay, I may need to put some more money in them on my own, because they're doing okay in this down stock market. So that's the way you learn. So you may take $100, you may take $50 and buy a little bit of 5, 6, 7 stocks and see how they work for 6 months, for a year. Then you may want to invest more, or you want to continue to invest in those stocks that you have time and time again. A lot of people that do end up making a lot of money or having a lot invested in life, they just do what's dollar cost averaging. They put so much into savings or into stock every payday, regardless of stuff. It's like I'm going to put $10 in here, I'm going to put $50 in here every payday. And if you do that for years and you're watching your stock and you're learning, you can end up with decent money. The stock market over historical periods has been yielding around 9 or 10%. So no, everybody doesn't get in there and buy that stock that goes up to be worth $2 million overnight and you're just super rich. But if you can make 10% on your money, that ain't bad. And if you do that over 20 years of working or 25 years of working, you could end up with a pretty nice little nest egg. So those are things that we want you to look at. Well, my time is up right now. I talked a little bit about technology, about the crime that's going on in the city, and about investing. So that's the BFTAA and More show. That's what we do. We will be getting back with you, letting you know what we're going to be doing at 816 Day. We're always open for any of your notes. If you want to send us a text, if you want to send us a letter, if you want to post something to us, we're on the web, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter. Just look up KUAW Radio, Kansas City, Missouri, and we'd love to hear from you. If you're interested, if it sounds good, if you know some things that you'd like to share on any of the topics that we covered, we'll make room for you. So thank you for listening. This is George Walker with the BFTAA and More show saying thanks for listening. We'll see you again next Monday. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.